Hi, good afternoon. I'm Trevor Wales and I run Trevor Wales Hypnotherapy Solutions. I'm based in St Austell in Cornwall and I've been in practice in Cornwall since 2011. But my time within the world of therapy goes back a few years further than that. I first became interested in hypnotherapy around about 2003 and started studying hypnotherapy in 2004. I came into the world of hypnotherapy, or rather hypnosis as it was to me then, on a chance article in a newspaper. I was suffering with chronic pain due to a car accident, and I was over medicating just to try to keep the pain down so that I could continue my daily routine, which was working in a retail environment. I was privileged to work in the top-end hi-fi industry, which was a wonderful career. The difficulty for me at that time was that it entailed lifting very large, heavy loudspeakers, sometimes on my own, and most of the amplifiers that we were dealing with were at the top end, so they were in excess of maybe 25-30 kilos, and I just couldn't cope with the pain. So I stumbled upon an article by Paul McKenna in the Daily Mail, and he was writing about how hypnosis could be used for a very wide range of applications, including pain management, and that piqued my interest. So I decided to start learning about it, and I tried it for myself, and I found that it worked. And it was using a simple technique which we nowadays know as dissociation. Now, I've been working in the field of pain management ever since I opened my practice, and when I was studying in the field of my diploma, pain management was a significant part of the course. These days we've made an awful lot of progress with the way in which we can deal with pain, both physical and emotional. And here's the thing, when we experience some kind of physical trauma, although we might recover from it, what we don't really realise is that there's quite a lot of emotional trauma that is still stored as a template. And that can sort of end up manifesting itself as curious aches and pains and long-term pain, which can sometimes become very debilitating. Now, I've been working almost entirely in the field of dissociative techniques because they do work very well. But around about 2017, I made the acquaintance of a gentleman by the name of Martin Rothery, who's become a friend and is also my mentor. I'm a trainer in the southwest for something which is called Sanamentology, which is closely aligned with the healing arts, which is similar in many respects to the work that we do in hypnosis, but it's entirely content free, and it doesn't use formal trance inductions, although it's quite likely that people may go spontaneously into trance. Now, how I became involved with Martin was I saw lots of comments on his Facebook pages about how he was regularly helping people with chronic pain issues, and he developed a simple process which he called rapid pain elimination therapy. And I rang him up one day and we had a long chat, and I thought, yes, this could be very interesting. And I started studying and training with Martin, and within a few months I was fully qualified, and I've been using rapid pain elimination to help people with all sorts of different things. And I've used it in sort of fairly diverse applications. There was one situation where a young boy had burnt himself on the wrist, where he was mucking around with melting crisp bags, and it was really very, very sore and very, very painful, and this young lad had a tendency to pick, and so the healing process was being quite badly hampered. So I worked with him for a short session, and literally within the first 5 or 10 minutes of talking to him and finding out how painful it was obviously very painful because he was constantly fiddling with it, and within about 10 minutes or so the pain levels had gone right the way down to an almost negligible level. And also we worked with putting in suggestions that he would desist from picking. And it was, by and large, very, very successful. I say by and large because the young lad has some, other issues that are under the surface that, possibly were getting in the way. But the healing process was accelerated, and that's something which is worthy of note. Now, I've also helped other people with their own difficult physical pain issues, and last year I had a gentleman who came to see me who was taking a survey about lifestyles and wanting to know about my role, what I was doing, and what it entailed. So I used that as an opportunity to ask him if he had any chronic pain, and he did. He had a long-term injury which went back to I think about 10 or 15 years, probably longer than that. He'd had 3 knee operations, and the injury was as a result of an injury sustained on a football field where somebody had done a foul tackle and had ended up damaging his kneecap. And I asked him, I said, okay, how is the pain for you most days? He said, it's absolutely terrible. It's always up very, very high, and it's just something I manage as best I can with painkillers, but it doesn't always work. So I said to him, look, if you've got 10 minutes, I can work with you and we can do something to see if we can ease the pain. And within that short 10-minute span, it worked, and he came out of it and he said, wow, he said something else that I hadn't explained to you, I also suffer from chronic backache, and that's gone as well. Now I understood what he was saying because, of course, the way our bodies work, if we've got an injury that causes us to walk differently, there will be other impacts elsewhere along the body. So it wasn't any surprise to me that he was suffering from back pain as well. I've also used it to very good effect from people suffering with toothache, and very recently myself I've had some problems, and obviously during lockdown where we can't get any dental help, I found it an absolutely excellent help to manage the dental pain. And as we speak now, I haven't had any problems for well over a week, but I had about 3 or 4 days where that pain was really, really excruciatingly high to begin with, and it simply worked for me and gave me several days of complete relief from the pain. Now obviously it wore off, but I just repeated the process. And what I do with clients who come to see me for working with managing chronic pain is to teach them some simple techniques that they can use themselves. There are things like disassociation and something which we call the dial method, which can help the client in a very relaxed state to visualize turning the pain down. And the way that it works within the brain chemistry, it has the effect of literally taking the attention away from the pain. Now obviously we work with certain safe caveats because we have to weigh up what the risk is to the client, whether they are putting themselves at risk because they want to continue to do something which is not in their own best interests. So you could always be assured that I will have a very robust conversation with people and make it abundantly clear if there's something which is a medical issue that they must actually consult a doctor. But there are times, where it's not always easy to get the kind of help that you want, particularly now during coronavirus. And for me personally, with the dental pain, that was something which I was glad to call upon. I've also helped people temporarily give relief from issues such as rheumatoid arthritis and chronic fibromyalgia. And I remember when I first started out down here, I went to see an elderly lady in her home that was suffering continuously from trapped nerve pain, which went back to when she was holidaying away and went by coach, and she was asked to sit on a coach seat which was too narrow, and of course the situation for her was aggravated by the fact that she had to wear a seatbelt, and she was stuck in that position for several hours. And since that time she'd been suffering with really severe pain. And I used something then which more with full-blown hypnotherapy, which is something called the dissociation method, where I got her to imagine a dial and turn the pain down. And that was all recorded onto a CD. So, you have something there available that you can use at will anytime you want. So if you suffer with chronic pain, it's worthwhile remembering that there are things that you could do naturally, that can be used in conjunction with the support of medication if you're on prescribed medication, or if you're taking things like ibuprofen and paracetamol, for example. But what I've found is that teaching people these techniques has enabled them to be less dependent upon medications such as painkillers. So if you're at all in need, please get in touch, give me a call. I am working online, and the therapists that I work with can work equally well face-to-face and online. And in fact, since 2011, I've been working with people up and down the country and all over the world. So thank you for listening. And if you'd like to find out more about how rapid pain relief therapy can help you, then please give me a call. My number's 01726 69703. I'm Trevor Wales from Trevor Wales Hypnotherapy Solutions. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye now.